Hi all, welcome to my channel. My name is Nirantara Veda. I am INFJ spiritual coach. Today I want to talk about INFJs become the person who can live your dream. I want to discuss this topic and it is based on the center theme of this self is Brahman. Brahman means the universe. This self is universe. It is derived from Sanskrit text. INFJ, I want you to imagine something. What if your dream isn't asking you to become someone completely different? What if your real work is to become more deeply aligned with who you already are? Many INFJs have extraordinary visions for their lives. You may want meaningful work, you may want to help people, you may want financial freedom, you may want to create something meaningful. You may have a very clear picture of the person you want to become, but there is often one problem. You can spend so much time imagining your future that you can become disconnected from the action required in the present. Today, I want to introduce you to a profound Upanishadic statement. This self is Brahma, meaning this self is the universe. And I want to explore how this ancient teaching can completely change the way you approach your dreams. Not through magical thinking, not by pretending that you can control every outcome, but through knowing yourself, aligning your actions with that understanding, and releasing your attachment to the result. Let's first understand the teaching accurately. The statement, this self is Brahman, appears in the second mantra of Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. The complete mantra begins, all this is indeed Brahman, and then this self is Brahman. The mantra continues by saying that the INFJ has four quarters or aspects. The INFJ self. Now, this does not mean my personality is God. It does not mean my ego can make anything happen. And it doesn't mean if I visualize something strongly enough, the universe must give it to me. That's a modern interpretation that goes beyond what the text itself says. In Advaita, interpretation associated with Sankaracharya, this self points to the innermost self. Sankaracharya explicitly explains that the Upanishad is pointing to the self as Brahman. So the question becomes, who am I beneath the changing personality, thoughts, emotions, and roles that I normally identify with? This is the deeper question. And INFJ, this is where this teaching can become incredibly powerful psychologically. Think about how easily we attach our identity to our goals. I'll be happy when I get the job. I will feel successful when I have the business. I will feel worthy when I have enough good money. I will become the person I want to be when I have the relationship. But notice what has happened. You have placed your sense of self in the future. You're saying, I'm not enough yet, and therefore my dream will complete me. But the teaching, the self is Brahman, points in the opposite direction. Your deepest self isn't something that becomes valuable only after you achieve a goal. Your dream doesn't create your worth. Your achievement doesn't create yourself. Your success doesn't make you more fundamentally whole. This means you can pursue a huge dream without making a dream responsible for your identity. And this is an incredibly freeing position from which you can act. INFJs often have something very special, a vision of what could be. You don't necessarily look at life only as it is. You can imagine what could become. You can see potential in people. You can see potential in yourself. You can imagine a future that doesn't exist yet. This is a beautiful strength. But every strength has a shadow. Your vision can become so vivid that you start living inside your imagination instead of bringing that vision into reality through consistent action. You can research endlessly, plan endlessly, journal endlessly, visualize endlessly, Wait for the perfect moment. Wait until you feel confident. Wait until you know exactly what to do. But your dream does not become real because you have understood it perfectly. Your dream becomes increasingly real through what you repeatedly do. So I want you to ask yourself, what would the person who can genuinely live this dream do today? Not someday, today. Let's say your dream is to become a successful coach. Don't visualize yourself having a thousands of clients. Ask, what qualities would that vision of me today embody? Maybe she is courageous, maybe she is disciplined, maybe she communicates clearly, maybe she has boundaries, maybe she studies deeply, maybe she reaches out to people, maybe she consistently creates content, maybe she can tolerate rejection, maybe she doesn't disappear every time something doesn't work. Now you have something practical. Instead of saying, I want to become successful, you say, I am going to practice these qualities required to live this life. And then you take one action. Write the article, record the video, study the subject, speak to the potential client, improve your skill, send the proposal, set the boundary, have the conversation, take the next step. This is where your inner vision meets the physical world. And for anything to manifest into the reality, we need to pay it with time and action. This is called the law of compensation. It goes hand in hand with the law of attraction. The law of attraction tells you to live your dream life today by embodying the qualities of your dream self today and doing those actions. And law of compensation says you can have anything you want, but you need to put action and you need to pay it with time. You need to give a sacrifice. Sacrifice doesn't mean that you need to pay it with your suffering. It means you need to pay it with your time. Don't pay it with anxiety, don't pay it with suffering. Pay it with your time and pay and do your action. What is the one smallest step you can take to move closer to the identity you want to embody? And there is another teaching that beautifully complements this. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, your right for your right is for action alone, never for the results. And importantly, the verse does not tell Arjuna to stop acting. It significantly warns against attachment to the results and against attachment to inaction. Sankara's commentary similarly emphasizes action without hankering for its fruits and says not to become inclined towards inaction. This is incredibly relevant to INFJs because sometimes the problem isn't the lack of desire, it is over attachment to the outcome. You post something, nobody responds, you immediately think maybe I'm not good enough. You may apply for something, you don't get it, you think maybe this isn't meant for me. You start a business, it grows slowly, you think maybe my dream is impossible. But one outcome doesn't define your identity. Your responsibility is the quality and integrity of your action. The result is influenced by many factors beyond your control. And this is the distinction I want you to remember. There is a difference between commitment and attachment. Commitment says this matters to me, so I will act. Attachment says this must happen, otherwise I cannot be okay. Commitment creates action, attachment creates anxiety. Commitment says I will keep learning, attachment says I need immediate proof that I am succeeding. Commitment says I will take today's step. Attachment says I need to know exactly how the entire journey will end. You don't have to pay for your dream with anxiety. You can pay for it with consistent action. That is a much healthier price. And the Bhagavad Gita reinforces this principle again in verse 3.19. Therefore, without attachment, always perform the action that should be done. And become the person who can live your dream. So, let's come back to the title. Become the person who can live your dream. I don't mean pretend you are already successful. I mean develop the capacities required for the life you want. If you want freedom, develop responsibility. If you want meaningful work, develop mastery. If you want to help people, develop competence. If you want financial abundance, develop valuable skills and responsible financial habits. If you want healthy relationships, develop communication and boundaries. If you want to become visible, practice tolerating being seen. If you want to lead, practice making decisions. Your dream contains a hidden curriculum. It tells you that you need what you need to develop. So instead of asking, when will my dream arrive? Ask, who must I become capable of being in order to live this life well? Then start practicing that person today. The INFJ practice. I want you to do this exercise after watching this video. Take a piece of paper, write your dream at the top, then answer 3 questions. 1. What kind of person could live this dream well? Write 5 qualities. Number 2. Which of those qualities am I already expressing? Recognize your existing strengths. 3. Which one of these qualities needs to become a daily practice? Then choose one action today. Not 10, not 20, 1. Because transformation doesn't require you to become your entire future self in one day. It requires you to repeatedly make choices that are aligned with the person you are becoming. And finally, INFJ, remember this. This self is Brahman. This is not a command to inflate your ego. This is an invitation to look beyond the limited identity you normally call me. You are not required to make your dream prove your worth. You are not required to control every outcome. And you don't have to abandon your dreams either. Know yourself, choose consciously, act consistently, learn from reality, and release your attachment to controlling the result. Your dream can become a direction for your life rather than a condition for your happiness. So don't ask only how do I get my dream, ask what kind of person can live this dream with integrity, and then become that person through your actions. Because your future isn't built only through what you imagine, it is built through what you repeatedly choose, practice, and embody. This self is Brahman, and your work is not to become worthy of existence. Your work is to discover yourself more deeply and let your actions express what you discover. That is where your dream begins. And if you want to work one-on-one with me to build your inner sovereignty alignment kingdom so your outer world reflects your sovereignty and abundance, you can reach out to me at nirantraveda@gmail.com. I offer one-on-one coaching and healing services. And if you like the video, please like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my channel. And all the homework that you need to know after watching this video, I will post it in the description. See you later. Thank you. Bye bye.